have learned math for a long time without the use of geoboards, plastic counting bears, or base 10 blocks. Although these manipulatives are fun in the classroom setting, you don't necessarily need them when you're teaching your child math at home. But when it comes to manipulatives, one shoebox of simple everyday items will serve you well while you're at home teaching your child. Counters are very important to add to your toolkit for home. You will need about 30 small items to use as counters, such as colored tiles, Legos, snap cubes, dried beans, or wooden blocks. It's best if these items have identical shapes and come in a couple different colors. Jelly beans and paper clips work really well for this. You'll need counters to teach your younger children to count, identify and compare numbers, and master basic addition and subtraction. Coins are obviously important for teaching children to count money, but you can also use pennies as counters, nickels, dimes, and quarters to practice counting by 5s, 10s, or 25s, pennies and dimes to teach place value, pennies and dimes to teach adding and subtracting two-digit numbers with or without regrouping, and use pennies and dimes to stand for tenths and hundredths to teach decimals. For this, you'll need about 25 pennies, 20 dimes, 20 nickels, and 10 quarters. It's fine to use plastic coins if you have them, but kids love to use real ones, and then you don't have to buy more things. Play money, especially 1s, 10s, and 100s from board games like Monopoly, are also great for teaching place value. Straws are the perfect manipulative for learning place value. They're easy to handle, cheap, and light. Use the rubber bands to bundle them into groups of 10, and then bundle 10 10s into groups of 100. Once you've made some bundles of 10, use them to teach two-digit addition and subtraction with and without regrouping. Straws are also a great tool for teaching geometry. Children learn a lot from actually constructing geometric shapes rather than just looking at them in a book. If you do not have access to straws, you can use craft sticks or popsicle sticks. Egg cartons are wonderful tools to model addition with different colored counters. They can also be helpful when modeling subtraction with different colored counters. You can also add a second egg carton to model the numbers in the teens or to practice sums and differences greater than 10. Egg cartons can also be useful when you're teaching multiplication and division. There are many games that you can use with the egg cartons. It's always handy to have a deck of cards and some dice when math is feeling a little boring and you need a change of pace. There are many games that you can play with the deck of cards and the dice. For the dice, it's very easy to raid your game cupboard, and we'll be talking about more games that you can play with the dice and the cards in future episodes. Index cards of any color or size are wonderful tools to put into your toolkit for math. They're very cheap and very useful. Once you have some handy, you'll find many ways to use them. Some examples that we'll talk about in future episodes are flashcards, number cards, and for geometry. Rulers provide a simple model of the number line, especially if you have a meter stick that goes up to 100 centimeters. A ruler is all you'll need in your everyday math toolkit, but it is also very helpful to have access to other forms of measurement, such as measuring cups and spoons, maybe some yarn or string, kitchen scale, to practice real-life measuring with your children. All of the manipulatives that you have collected today for your math toolkit should fit into a shoebox or a small container. On the screen, you will find math tips for parents and guardians, as well as some online resources for math.